The story of how I came to know Clickfunnels and how I made the transition into believing that it is a brilliant platform for entrepreneurship. Welcome to the Little Black Couch, a journey in entrepreneurship. Everyone should be an entrepreneur. The chance to overcome obstacles, solve problems, make the world a better place, and dictate your life on your own terms is worth the risk. My name is Aaron Stewart, and I have been researching or living entrepreneurship for almost 30 years now. Welcome to the Little Black Couch, a journey in entrepreneurship. Hey everyone, Aaron Stewart again. Thank you for joining us at the Bruised Entrepreneur. Appreciate you listening in, really do. So I got asked a very interesting question the other day by a family member, and I do a lot of entrepreneurial things. I try different projects. I'm always trying to do something, and I've got a few irons in the fire, and just trying to figure out the next thing. And I mean, many of you know my backstory, where we had things were going really well, and then started not going so well, and so got to look for the next thing. And as an entrepreneur from a more traditional entrepreneur, we run out and we try to create a product or see a niche and try to fill it with a product. We just run around trying to create partnerships, doing whatever, and just trying to find the next thing, trying to solve the next problem. I think entrepreneurship is really about running around and trying to solve problems. And if you can find the right problem and solve it, then you're going to make a ton of money. You're going to make life better for folks. And so that's kind of it. That's how I've always seen entrepreneurship, is I'm always looking for a big problem that I can solve. And if I can solve that problem, then the money will come with it. And if it's a problem that's a problem for me, where I can be passionate about it, that's all the better. So as I run around doing all that, I've made it fairly well known to my family and friends and those that I have gone all in on Clickfunnels. My wife and I went down to Funnel Hacking Live, had a great time in Nashville. I was very impressed. I have been impressed impressed probably isn't the right word. I've been very fascinated is probably a better word. Super fascinated by Clickfunnels for a number of years, and just fascinated by watching their journey as somebody who obviously studies entrepreneurship, is an entrepreneur myself, and it's just been fascinating to see, because Clickfunnels just seemed like a little online marketing training program at first, where there was a lot of I think Ignite, and there were some different programs going on where Russell was, as the front man, was kind of pitching things and how to do things, and teaching parables and how to create your attractive character and all of that. And it's been very interesting. It's been fascinating, and I've purchased the different products along the way to kind of see it, and really for education more than anything else, just kind of fascinated. And then when Clickfunnels was launched, that changes things a little bit, because now it's a software, and I've created a software as a service as well with a partner, and so I kind of got that model. Now not only are they providing training, now they're providing a platform on which to use that training, now it's grown into what I believe to be sort of a full-blown entrepreneurial opportunity, like a business in a box kind of a thing, where you can launch a website and tie into it all your drip email campaigns. You can set it up so it's a sales page. It's not just an online brochure, is what we like to call them. It's got, there's no confusion. It directs everybody where they need to go. It's a very action-oriented type of a place to land. So super fascinated, and you can kind of see them chunking along and plugging the holes where, really, drinking their own Kool-Aid. They have been removing objections, and they do it. They've always taught how to do it, and we all know how to do it. In sales, you always try to predict what the objections will be and try to address them before they can even come up, right? So, how to get to yes. There's a book on how to get to yes. That's exactly what they would do. It's like we would always try to predict the objections and then come up with, the solutions to those objections. right in the front part of the presentation to get them all out of the way. So very similar stuff going along, but now they are actively creating solutions to address objections, and that's different. That's fascinating, really amazing. So to watch that all come about was really cool. Then to be at Funnel Hacking Live, it was a good event. It was a great event. Great event. I thought it was very well done. It's very interesting to always be in the same room and have all the speakers kind of come to you. So everybody's on the same track. Never really been to places that do it that way. I've never been to a conference that does it that way, but I thought it was great. I thought it was very effective. It worked really well. Everybody's on the same page. I was really amazed at how well attended every speaker was. That was something that you don't always see, right? As the conference continues on, you see fewer and fewer people. They're out seeing the sights, hitting the golf course, the beach, whatever. I don't know if it was because it was raining constantly and we're always on flood watch, but I'd like to think it's because that's just the way the Clickfunnels community is, right? They're just very engaged. And so watching all this, as I sat there and considered the opportunities, and I considered what to do, what we're to do next, and had a good conversation with Carol about it, we're like, okay, so what do we do? What should we do? And we decided to join the 2 Comma Club X and see how it went. And part of that was I wanted to join it, and I wanted to be like, I wanted to do something that I didn't want to make it too easy for Clickfunnels to be successful with me. And that sounds completely arrogant. I just heard it. What I meant was Clickfunnels claims to be able to deliver results for folks who are even just getting started with no prior experience, right? That's their deal. And I think they seem to have done a very good job at that, right? And so how to prove that? And again, as I don't know if it's the researcher part of me or whatever, I'm thinking to myself, look, I have credentials. I've got a bachelor's, master's, and a doctorate in business, entrepreneurship, all that. If I stayed in entrepreneurship and coaching, if I stayed in that sort of arena, then there's some advantages there that I don't necessarily think I want, and I don't want Clickfunnels to leverage. Boy, that sounds terrible. It's just, again, from just trying to be, as a researcher, trying to make my situation as close to what Clickfunnels says they can do, right? They can take somebody from nothing and turn them into something, extraordinary, 2 Comma Club and all this kind of stuff, right? So in order for me to do that, then I had to get out of what I'm familiar with and what I have knowledge in and what people see me as an expert in, and do something else. And so that's why I chose golf. I love golf. I'm super passionate about golf. But I have no credentials in golf. I'm not a PGA Tour player. I've never taught. I have no credentials in golf. Nobody listens to me. I've taught my kids how to play golf. I've taught some friends how to play golf. I have been to a number of golf schools. I read a lot of golf stuff. I am fascinated by golf. I think it's the greatest sport on earth, and it's not even close. So I have the passion about it. And so I thought, what, that's where to do it. I've got the passion, but I have absolutely no credentials. I have some knowledge, which I think they definitely say, look, you should have some knowledge in the subject matter that you're going to try to be successful in. And so that's why I've chosen it. And so I'm fascinated to see if we can take me, El Stupido, in golf, right? I love golf. It's a hobby of mine. I'm passionate about it. I have been bad and have gotten better. So I have worked with a guru, with an expert on how to become a better golfer. I have been in mastery programs and learned a lot of great stuff. So I have a foundation, but no credentials. And I think that's kind of the perfect place to start with Clickfunnels. So I started a podcast about golf. Nobody listens to it. Nobody cares. And I wouldn't suspect that they would. But, and now I'm trying to get on Instagram, and I'm trying to do all these things and get ready. I'm trying to figure out my offer. I'm trying to do all this stuff just like everybody else who has ever been successful in Clickfunnels. I know there's some that come in with previous businesses and they take that and run. But for me, in order for this to be super fun, in order for this to be something that I think is that's going to be even more fascinating and interesting, is to start from nothing. That's pretty cool. Because if I can start from nothing and go through this process, and I'm going to document the crap out of it and get to the other side, then there's really a lot of cool things. One, Clickfunnels is everything they say they are. When you take a person with no credentials and some knowledge and some passion, and you turn them into a success, running them through your program, and you start doing it over and over and over again, that's great. And I would like to see that happen. Another thing that would be super interesting is to see it A to Z. I must say that in my career to this point, it's been hodgepodge, and I have not done a good job of documenting the journey, of documenting what was frustrating and how I thought my way through something, and where we pushed ahead and where we, stepped into the dark. All of that stuff is sort of blurry. I remember occasions this is the opportunity to document every last little step. And because you're publishing, and because you're building out funnels, and you're working on offers, and you're working on email sequences and all this stuff. And it's fascinating too, all the new terminology. I mean, really, soap opera sequence, Seinfeld sequence, I mean, opt-in funnel, tripwires. I mean, all this stuff. This is language that we don't use in the business world. It's not used in the standard business world. This is not taught in college. This has nothing to do with anything that I've learned, which is, again, super fascinating. Really, really cool stuff. So that's why Clickfunnels for me. It's I hope it's successful. I can't think of anything better than to have a business in golf. I see a lot of great things that could go that way. I'd have so much more fun than I do in my regular life. In just business and trying to find opportunities to make money gets really old if you don't have any passion. And I have very little passion in what I do now. I hope some of these new projects I'm working on will do that. But for Clickfunnels and this golf project and all of that, I'm very interested to see what comes of it. Completely fascinated, enthralled for the opportunity. I am very excited to be also in the, I wanted to pick up the pace and to be in the 2 Club X. And I will say, we've only been in a couple weeks. I am completely blown away at the depth of the program. I've gone through the membership area. I've looked at a bunch of stuff compared to the One Funnel Away Challenge, compared to some of the other training that you get when you are a $97 a month or a $297 a month client. It's night and day. It's 100 to 1. The opportunities, even the community itself within 2 Club is mind-boggling. It is so close-knit for a bunch of people that have never met each other. It's quite fascinating. I'm really enthralled with all of it so far. It seems really good. So trying to put it all together and figure it out. So this is sort of Operation Clickfunnels for me, to see what can come of, a non-credentialed, a zero-credentialed individual in a market where he has very little knowledge, or has very little credibility, I guess is a better way to put it, in this industry. It'll be interesting to see how it all puts together. And if Clickfunnels pulls this off, then I will be their biggest evangelist. I will scream from the rooftops. I'm excited. Look, if this works, then what does that do for me? That gives me a platform to talk about and tell others. I believe everybody should be an entrepreneur. I feel strongly about that. I studied that. That was the whole reason that I went to school, is to study that. I think everybody should be an entrepreneur, but I haven't always been able to tell people how to do it themselves. If I go through this process and figure it all out, I think that I would finally have, as a researcher, as an academic, the ability to tell everybody else, look, you want to be an entrepreneur, and you should, because here are all the benefits, and this is the best way to do it. It's Clickfunnels. If that happens and I can get there through this process, then yeah, I will scream from the rooftops. that ClickFunnels is the place to be. And if it doesn't work out, then I will say otherwise. But so far, super impressed. I'm pretty confident that it's going to work out. I see things lining up and think, you know what, I think these guys got it figured out. I really do. I'm super impressed. And I can't wait for, if it does work and everything works out, I can't wait to show my kids. I can't wait to show my friends and family. I can't wait to finally be in a position where I can help people when they come to me and say, look, I'm really struggling. It looks like I'm going to lose my job, but I can say, what do you love to do? Okay, let's make a business out of that. How good would that feel to be able to do that for other people? So you know what? Great. Just hold on. Let's get some things going. Jump in and help them. Get them going. Get a business set up. Get a funnel launched. Get some things going in. Tweak it a little bit. Get it going. And boom, there's your business. Okay, who's next? Wow, wouldn't that be the coolest thing? That would just be the greatest thing. So to take entrepreneurship and turn it into something, a turnkey opportunity, would be beautiful. So anyway, that's it for this podcast. Thank you for listening in. Look, we entrepreneurs have a tough task ahead. We do face hard times. We do face challenges. We do try to do what nobody else is willing to do. We're in the trenches together, and we do get bruised. And that is part of this podcast, is doing it together and making sure that we change the world and make it a better place. Thank you for all you do and making that happen. Until next time, Aaron Stewart, the Bruised Entrepreneur. Thanks.